Hello, good evening. My name is Matha Fox. I'm an independent beauty and health consultant for the past 15 years. So, for the past 15 years, I've been helping women look and feel great. And recently, something happened in my life that changed, and I had to rebrand into health and beauty. So, I love just helping people like lead a healthy lifestyle. But today it's not about me. We have a special guest. Okay, so his name is Andrei Roman. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right.
You are, absolutely.
Yeah, so I will share briefly how I came to meet Andrei. So I'm currently writing a book. So everything was ready to go. And then the picture did not come out very nicely because I was trying to be cheap and do it by myself. But my publisher says, no, you need to go find a professional. So I was like in such a hurry. And, I really appreciate your promptness, your professionalism. Like you jumped at it even after you did the camera for editing. I was like, can you just make one for me so that I can send it to my publisher? And yeah, you were busy, but you know what? I'm so thankful for the promptness and your willingness to help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love bringing in people who are changing the community, people who are doing amazing things for the community. So I will just allow Andre to introduce himself. But today, our topic, as you know, on this show, we talk about inner and outer beauty. So everything is beautiful. So, like for what he does, I was just thinking of a topic to really capture what he does. And I came up with the beauty of capturing our precious memories. So, tell us, who is Andre?
Hi, my name is Andrei Roman. I am a recent university graduate. I currently own my own little photography and videography business, Flex Media YEG here in Edmonton. I'm going to be honest, I am super thankful for having me on the show. It is incredible. This is fantastic what you are doing, and it was an absolute pleasure to have you into the studio. I'm glad that we were able to kind of produce something for you for your book cover in a quite a timely manner, exactly as you needed it. Um, yeah, as for myself, like I said, I'm a recent graduate. I was looking for work in the middle of a pandemic, which can't be easy whatsoever. And then when I saw that I couldn't really find anything, that was the time for me to kind of jump and pursue this creative career that I never thought I would I would pursue. So I'm incredibly thankful that my friends, my family, everyone's been incredibly supportive, and I'm doing quite well for myself, I have to say, considering there's a global pandemic and I am in an industry that's more luxurious than essential. So yeah, that's a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. But the thing is, what I found out, there are some things that are recession proof, that are pandemic proof, because as human beings, when we are in this state of despair, we really look for things that cheers us up. So
Hmm.
having somebody capture your precious moments, it helps us to feel better. Because
Yes.
the moment we start focusing on all the negative, it makes life so much harder. So are you grateful for the pandemic, or would you say it was
At the
considering
end of the day,
things?
it was a blessing in disguise. Um, Last year, at the around March, I was still in school. I ended up meeting a friend who also happened to be Romanian, like myself. And then a few months later, as soon as the pandemic started, uh, that was back when you weren't allowed to travel anywhere. It was a total lockdown. We took separate cars to the mountains to just take photos of the night sky. We needed something to do. And then with that in mind, we ended up deciding how cool would it be to one day have a studio. A month later, we ended up having the space that you were at just a couple of weeks ago. So at the end of the day, the pandemic was a blessing in disguise. Like just over a year now of having the studio, I've been able to like meet so many cool people, do so many unique things. Like, I've had authors like yourself in the studio. I've had Olympians. I've had so many people in the studio to photograph. And like I said, I'm quite thankful for the pandemic. I know many people have suffered and many people have struggled. It's not easy on anyone. Life is very
Yeah.
different. But at the end of the day, I was able to kind of see an opportunity and tackle it, and everyone's kind of behind me. So I I have nothing to regret.
Okay, that's good. And it's true, like we cannot disregard the hardships this pandemic has brought, but at the same time, we are survivors. We thrive when we focus on the positive. That way, it helps us to keep growing and to keep going. But what I'm really interested in is like you only figured this one out during the pandemic. So when you were growing up, was it something you've ever wanted, or like was it just that moment that you realized, well, I think I want to do this, or it has always been at the back of your mind?
Honestly, no, it wasn't. When I was still in high school, I was very numbers oriented. I initially started school for computer sciences. I ended up switching to business because I didn't really like it. But when I started university, I started my post secondary education. I wanted to start a new hobby, right? It was a new chapter in my life, and I really wanted to take on something new. I wanted to make YouTube videos. That was what I wanted to do. That was the cool thing at the time. So my
Okay.
parents purchased me a camera for my graduation present, and I couldn't be more thankful for that. It was brutal for making videos. Everything I've done is self-taught, but I found out shortly that my camera was actually pretty decent for photos. So took a couple of photos here and there, just like everyone has their own little camera. Take photos when you're going on a trip, family vacation, the same thing as we do with our cell phones now. Um, and over the course of my university degree, I kept using it. I didn't work during school, but when I got a little bit more comfortable, it was making me a few bucks on the side. So, you know, as a university student who is low on funds, a couple extra $100
It
makes a
helps.
world of a difference, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then I had my friends supporting me, and they were letting me take photos of them. And I saw that each photo was getting better and better and better. That with time, I decided to take it a step up, not thinking much of it. I bought another camera, something a little bit more professional in a sense, and that took my work to the next level. But up until the studio, I never thought I was actually going to be doing this full time. I really didn't.
Wow, what a surprise. And I'm finding that many people have become so creative. They've become aware of what they can do.
Hmm.
And sometimes, even for me, when I started to do the writing, I'm always thinking, if I was not so grounded, was I going to go on this path of writing? Right? So it's like there are some talents we possess. We don't even have an idea of what we are capable of doing until we are forced into a situation where we are grounded, and then we really have to be creative. Right? So yeah, I hear you. And I talk to so many people who have discovered talents they didn't know they had. Right. So for you, when you were on this journey, I know your family was supportive, your friends were supportive. What were the challenges and how did you overcome them?
The challenges, honestly, there's not a lot of them. The biggest challenge was honestly the mindset. I come from a very conservative Eastern European family, and everything in life kind of is very sequential, right? Finish high school, go to post secondary, graduate, get a job, uh, you know, start a family, get a house, etc. There's never that concept of risking it all, trying something new. This is the time to risk it and grow and explore your options, kind of thing. So in the back of my head, it's like, okay, I finished school. I need to get a job that pays me well enough that I can pay my bills and I can start paying my student loans. that was the challenge, because I was not I didn't think of photography as something that could actually bring in a sustainable form of income, um, simply because at the time when I was still very new, I didn't realize how to properly market myself, how to position myself, what I really wanted to do. So I was on the fence about going full time with it. It was very much like, hey, here I'll shoot a wedding in the summer, make an additional sum of money just for a weekend. It was just until when the opportunity presented itself that I'm like, I don't want to be stuck inside of the house because of the pandemic. I like even school was online. I was gonna lose my mind indoors.
Okay.
Um, luckily, I had a little bit of money saved up, so I was able to kind of kickstart the studio with my studio partner. Um, everything that has led up to it has been that I've been smarter about certain things in the past. Like I wouldn't go spend all of my money on restaurants or going out with my friends, right? Like there was always something on the side, and when I wanted to do it, I was able to just dip into my piggy bank, right? Get a camera, get a light, build a website, right, and just started to put myself out there. So that was the challenges on kind of starting things up. But right now, there's challenges that come as a business owner, right? At the beginning, it was very much artistic and passion and all this. Now that I'm in with it, the challenges come on the business side of things, right? Finding clients, um, having all your processes in order to be as efficient as possible, right? You needed your headshot fairly quickly, your one photo, so I had to figure out a way to be able to deliver that in a timely manner, while without making taking preference between my clients, because that's not okay either at the end of the day. So there's many little challenges right now that I have to overcome, definitely more than when I started. But that's because you don't realize what you're really jumping into until you want to grow, right? So I think growth is the most important part of that.
All right. Okay. What I understand is in business, the more you grow, the bigger challenges you face.
Yes,
And you talked about the right mindset. So for me, the way I see it, the more challenges you face, it means you are going somewhere
let's
because
hope so.
that's how it is. And what I really love about business is the ripple effect.
Hmm.
You started, you just wanted to make YouTube videos. For somebody who's making YouTube videos, there's a lot that is connected to that can open so many opportunities. Because right now, if you look online, people are doing coaching for different things. So there's a way to really go big with when you start small and then you start to diversify and just see the connections that fit with what you are doing, right? So what kind of advice would you give somebody who wants to do what you're doing but they're scared, who has money to take photos? Like, what advice would you give them?
The biggest piece of advice is perseverance and persistence, the two P's. Um, if you stick with something, the results just happen, right?
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect at the end of the day, regardless of what you're doing. Um, you can run every morning. You will slowly get faster and faster. You can try cooking. The more you cook, the more you understand how certain
Yeah.
things fit together. The more you want to do, like when you're 14 and you want to start driving, right? You can't drive until you're 16, but you need to practice, right? It's the same thing. There's photographers out there in the area that don't have anywhere near the same equipment that I do. I've been very
Oh,
fortunate that I also like equipment. I'm a techie. I love computers. I love anything technology, right? So at the end of the day, I don't need all of that to help create the results that I'm producing. It helps and it makes it more efficient. But at the end, like there's photographers with fairly cheap cameras, right? Because technology has advanced so much, that they can produce fantastic results, right? Because you look at some other photographers, how are they so busy? And that was me at the very beginning when I started. I'm like, how, right? There's such a there's such a mix of things that you need to worry about: business, photography, artistic. You need to have the right network, like just talking to people alone. There's so many things that go into creating something larger. So that's why you got to like really stick with it. That's been the
Yeah,
thing for me,
true.
because I've been taking photos for about 4 years now.
Oh, 4 years. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it
Okay,
hasn't been
thank
like,
you.
I did shoot before the studio, but sticking
Oh,
with
you
it has
did.
been, yes. Yeah.
So are you only sticking to the studio now, or you also do outside?
I still do outside as well. I
Okay.
found that if I didn't have the studio, I would have to rent. If I needed, I would have to rent someone else's studio. And the other part was I am not productive from home at all. I've been stuck indoors for the past little bit. I've got nothing done. I watched so much Netflix, and I watched
Yeah.
so much YouTube, right? It's but that's me, right? Some people like are thriving in this at-home environment right now. For me,
Yes.
it's easier to wake up at 6 in the morning, make breakfast, be ready for the day, go to my office, and get work done. I have a place where I'm disconnecting from home. I'm disconnecting
Right.
from the family. I'm disconnecting from that home life, right? If I was here, it's like, oh, well, I'm editing some photos or trying to find some clients, but it's like, I could use a snack. So I go upstairs to the kitchen, make some food. Oh, there's a game on TV, so I'm gonna watch that, and then the studio really held me accountable. But that's just because that's the way I work, right?
Yes. Like you're right. People are different. Me,
Hmm.
I thrive better in a home environment. At first, it was so hard, but then I realized I just need to have a schedule. Like right now, between morning and 3 o'clock, even if I
Hmm.
try to watch TV, I can't because my brain is so disciplined and geared up to do the things I am supposed to do. And then when it's 3 o'clock or 3:30, my brain shuts off. I don't want to do anything.
Hmm.
So you are right. People are different. And to anyone who's going to be watching live or you are watching on other platforms, you feel free to reach out to Andrei if you have any questions or if
Absolutely.
you want to go check out his services. But one thing I can say, okay, this is me, what I look for when I'm looking for business from people. I looked or I Googled photographers in Edmonton. And then there's this place that comes, I think it's an agency. Is that an
Yep.
agency where, yeah,
It's
I
a lead
found that
generation platform.
place. Yeah, found that place, told them what I wanted to do. So for me, the first person who responds for me in my book, they are the winner. Because I'm the kind of person when I want something done, I need it like right now.
Yes.
So the fact that you responded promptly, even if your price was going to be more than the other person, I really value people who are prompt. For me, it just shows you're constantly checking your emails to see if you
Yep.
have any new business, right? So for me, that's number one. So regardless of how much equipment you have, if a person does not have that speed and enthusiasm for their business, sometimes that's what separates the winners from the people who are not winning, right? So that's very, very important. So I truly believe if you continue with that promptness, that will get you so far ahead of everybody else because people, sometimes as human beings, we love microwave services.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so the ability to really capture somebody when they reach out to you and deliver promptly, for me, I think that brings, when you bring value to people, somebody told me that money follows value. So when people see you excited and happy with what you're doing, they will trust you more. And for me,
Hmm.
I was even impressed when you said your pictures will be ready on Friday. This is Tuesday. I'm like, I'm desperate. Can I just have one picture for my publisher? And I knew you were busy, but you made it work for me. You got me the picture before Friday. So
Hmm.
that means when I hear people asking for photographers, who am I going to think about? I just think about the service you provided. Like, okay, he's really good.
I
So
appreciate that.
just keep it up with this one. And then another question I wanted to ask you is, can somebody get in touch with you and say, I want you to mentor me? Is it something you have considered for the future, or you just want to do it you without coaching?
So I actually do have an answer for that. Um, I've been lucky that through school I ended up finding a few of my own mentors, just life coaches, etc., and they have helped me volumes. They have opened so many doors. They have opened so many just opportunities. They've connected me with photographers, with lawyers, with accountants for me to kind of help with my business. So I 100% I want to give back. I want to help others as well. I do have, I don't call it a mentorship program. I call it a coaching program, specifically for photographers. But it is a paid service, right? But I do want to offer, to people just help, guidance, whatever I can help. Simply because when I was at the beginning of my photography journey, I reached out to other photographers that were more experienced, and nobody was willing to share with me uh, any piece of knowledge. And
Really?
it was intimidating because I'm like, is this the industry? Is this the people? Is this the community? And I really didn't like that. Um, for me, when I'm mentoring, I do have a couple of students. They've come into the studio. I've taught them lighting. I've taught them how to take better photos, etc. At the end of the day, you're building a team, right? 100%. They're not going to be doing exactly what I'm doing, right? I'm
Yeah.
teaching them fundamentals. I'm teaching them basics. But if I do corporate and portrait photography, they might only want to do families. Families just might be their thing. If I have someone reach out to me, hey Andre, do you do family photos? No, I don't, but I've mentored so and so. They're absolutely fantastic, and I can 100% recommend them for you. And I'm like, hey, Alex, I got a job for you, right? They're willing to pay $250 for some family photos. I take 50. You have a free client, and it didn't cost you anything for client acquisition, right? The same thing goes vice versa. If they have a project that they can't do, uh, hey,
Okay.
I know someone who does this and they're fantastic at it. Check out Andre. So if I'm shooting weddings, I might need a second photographer. Who would I go to? The same thing as you. You said because I was prompt and I was reliable, right?
Yeah.
It insinuated trust. The same thing with the people I'm mentoring, right? If I need a second shooter, I charge for those services from whoever's hiring me, but then I pay my students, right? I know how they work. I know the things that they're doing. I know what they're good at. We work together as a team because I've kind of shaped them in a sense. So that's for the side of photography, but even just life in general, like my mentor doesn't charge me a single thing to just talk to me. You need someone outside of your family, outside of your circle to just put things really into perspective for you. So if anyone is ever interested, my email, my phone number is always readily available. So any questions, feel free. I would be more than happy to share anything that I know in my career, in my life. It would be a pleasure.
Okay, thank you for letting us know. What did I want to ask? Okay, what I wanted to share, we have at least 5 minutes. So, what I wanted
Mhm.
to share was, when we Google, there's a lot of information out there. But that information, because there's no direction, there's no order, it's really hard to really, really get into something and follow the correct steps. So I really like what you're doing, because some people might be like, oh, I can just Google, why do I need to pay somebody? But
Mhm.
just Googling, when people are putting information on Google, they don't give you the step by step. So that's very, very important what you're doing. And what I'm saying is you are very resourceful
I appreciate that. Thank you.
for somebody who started like last year.
Full time, yes, last year.
Yeah. Oh, I've got Sharon, my friend. She's in Ontario. She said, I need photo. She said, PD, I am in Ontario. I need photos for my new website.
I'll have to make a trip down there. I was planning on going to see Toronto if things open up. So let me know.
Oh, okay. So do you have a network outside Edmonton where you can refer somebody, because what I've realized these days is people trust their friends, because
Yes.
people don't want their time wasted, because there's so many people who claim they can do things, but without really seeing what they have done, it's kind of hard to trust them. So that's why I really like this idea of community,
Mhm.
of doing somebody who does something and get somebody to refer for you. Who do we have here? Okay, this
That
is
would
it.
be my if you need to reach me, there you go. Um,
Oh, okay. Oh, thank
yeah.
you. I was trying to figure. I was confused.
In terms of the network, I haven't expanded too far outside of the province yet. Um, I'm trying to really focus on one market at a time, specifically for myself, just because I'm still fairly new. I'm not gonna lie. There's photographers that have way more experience, have been doing this for many more years. I am slowly going into the BC area to provide some services. I'm hoping to tackle Vancouver a little bit as well. Um,
Okay.
in terms of the network, again, it's the people that I know. I can always recommend someone, and I do have friends that I've worked with. I do have surprisingly, I have more of a network in the United States than the rest of Canada. I do find that uh, with Canada, since the population is a lot more scarce and the
Okay.
volume of photographers is actually quite high, um, we clash heads quite often, right? It's at the end of the day, everyone's got to eat, right? So
Somebody's gonna eat.
yeah, you know, it's rare that you see someone from Edmonton go to Ontario, for example, and just provide their services, unless that's just what they do and they're incredibly known for that. I do have people that I talk to. I do have friends. I've made friends through social media and online, and obviously, I'm not gonna go for one session to a whole different province, fly across the country,
Yeah.
unless it's a bigger gig, right? I worked with Walmart Canada recently, and something like that was incredible, right? For something like that, you would definitely travel a little bit, especially because they're willing to cover the cost. But if you need someone outside the province, I've got plenty of friends that I'd be more than happy to provide their services.
Oh, okay. Oh, Sharon says, yes, true, Matha. There are so many time wasters out there. I hear you. And any last, like, word, last remarks before we go? You know, say they say time flies when you're having fun. I'm looking at the time
Absolutely.
already.
Any last remarks? I just want to thank you for having me on this on your show. This was actually fantastic. I absolutely love doing this, and it
Oh,
kind of
good.
brings me back to my presentation days in university a little bit, speaking in front of crowds. I haven't had to do that for a while, so this was really fun, and I'm very grateful. And if you ever need any more help with the book, with anything, I would 100% love to help you out.
Yeah, oh, that's another thing. When I told you about my book, you said, tell me when the book is done, I need a copy.
Yes, absolutely.
I was really impressed with that. Like, you have a heart to give back. You know, sometimes in business, okay, here's the thing, we are not expected to buy or use the service of everybody we're in contact with,
Hmm.
right? And it's always nice when that happens, when that opportunity arises. So I was really, really impressed and touched. I was like, wow, that's very nice of him. He didn't mean to, but
So
he was really, to be honest, it gave me a boost of confidence that my book is going to sell.
yeah, what I personally
That I
believe in
didn't have
is
before, but I was just,
personally what I believe in is what you give, you get back tenfold. Um, the same thing, right? I answered really quickly to you. You immediately came to me, no hesitation, right? Same thing, right? I buy your book.
right.
Next thing I know, you're a New York bestseller, and then I can say I worked with her. I had her in the studio.
Yes, you
International,
see, you're so fast forward thinking. I like that.
internationally published author. How cool would that be? I can make my own
Yeah,
little wall of
that's
fame
true.
of people I photographed.
Oh, thank you. I'm just seeing if there's any further comments. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate. I know I didn't give you enough notice, but you were able to come and just to share.
Fantastic.
And
Thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much. And I am hoping that you will get, oh, you're welcome. I'm hoping you will get a lot of contacts from this show, people reaching out to you, whether it's for mentorship. Okay, guys, this guy, he takes really great pictures. Talk to him. And yeah, so thank you so much. I really appreciate you
My
being
pleasure.
here. Um,
It was a lot of fun.
yeah, have a great rest of the week. All right.
Thank
Oh,
you so
so
much.
you
You
saying your
as well.
final remarks. I wanted to deprive you of your.
If anyone is
Okay.
interested in contacting me, again, just check out my website. They have shared all of my information on here. My website on Instagram, it's just Andre_Roman. Feel free to check out some of my work, and let's get in touch. Even if you have like this amazing project, collaboration is always fantastic. So if you have this amazing project in mind,
Yeah.
let's try and make it happen. So I look forward to hearing from you.
All right. Thank you so much. And Sharon, thank you so much for watching. Much appreciated. So have an amazing week and take care. Bye for
Awesome.
now.